And for some reason, David's in his bathrobe with a thing, and he's like, it's bath night. Do you remember? He says it's bath night. Like, what? It's so funny. That's funny to me.
Yeah.
Like, it's bath night at the wizard school, and there's no reference to it anymore. It just is. He's in his bathrobe and ready to go.
It was a gag. Someone in the writer's room thought it was funny. We did bath night,
funny.
and then we just never talked about it.
I love that. Okay, but then she's like, I'm out. And
she's out. She runs into Dr. Evelini, who catches her, literally pulls out the discipline bucket, which sounds awful, and then makes Alex scrub the floors of WizTech. She then finds Dr. Evelini's, which God bless Octavia Spencer for committing to this, because it was, where this came from, I have no idea, but the messenger fish that she speaks into, and then it like wobbles down the stairs.
It was a lot for me.
It was a lot.
How the fuck is the fish going to go get to her assistant or to her sister or something?
It was a lot. I literally remember watching the episode back and just being like, so the fish took like 5 minutes to get down the stairs alone.
Yeah.
How is it going to like, whatever,
so silly.
to her mother's house?
Was that Jack's voice too, do you think? Was he also the fish?
I don't know if he was the fish or not. I feel like Jack did a lot of voices, so I wouldn't be surprised. And especially in the same episode too. But anyway, so the fish gives away her whole plan, because Evelini's the whole time she's trying to impress her mom, who's also like this evil genius. So she's telling her mom through this evil fish that she's going to drain all of Justin's powers, because she's going to get him to Lava Land.
At Volcano Land.
Lava Land.
Which is very much like Disneyland, right?
Yeah, exactly. But with volcanoes and a more nefarious, evil quest involved. But yeah, so we went from the pigeons and then the fish. Like I said, this seems like Brooklyn backwoods Hogwarts.
It was very odd to have a messenger fish.
I just want to know who. I want to know what late night writer's room.
They're like, let's have it be a fish. Okay, let's go home and sleep.
Exactly. Like, what 4 a.m. idea was the fish? Yeah. That's what I want to know. So this was the first two-parter, like cliffhanger episode of Wizards. I think we started to get into more of those with like the Wizards versus episodes, especially in like the third season and the fourth season.
Right. With
like the bigger episodes. Can you remember like an episode of TV where you like were on the edge of your seat, where they did like a two-parter?
A two-parter. I don't know, but the
or even like an episode of television that you were just like, oh God. Or like a cliffhanger.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of this show. It's on HBO and it's about the family and they all want jockeying for position and Succession.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not so much about a two-parter, but is the second an episode ends, I'm like, I want another one. What's going to happen? Good.
Have you seen the finale?
I have.
Thoughts?
It's amazing. I loved how it ended, and I'm not going to spoil or anything.
No.
But I will say I think Succession, which I couldn't remember the fucking name of it, but I think it was one of the best television shows ever.
I think it goes in with like Sopranos, 6 Feet Under, like one of those classic family dramas, like just like great, and all HBO, but like all really great family dramas.
Yeah. It was so well written.
Oh my God, so well written. It was one of those shows that I have to say the finale left me, which I think is kind of the point. It left me feeling really empty.
Well, you know what's funny?
Which was kind of the point, I feel like,
with that family.
I don't want
to ruin anything for
anybody. Don't ruin anything for people that haven't seen it.
But it's been over for quite a while.
I know, but like, you know, someone's going to be like, spoilers.
But here's the thing. They're all still billionaires. Even though there's a sadness to it, money is not everything. Clearly,
yeah,
it shows
but
you
it was,
that.
but the way that they ended it, which was very poignant for what it's about.
Who's the number one child? Who's the pick? Who's the takeover pick?
But there was such an emptiness to the way that it ended, which, like I said, I felt like was very poignant with the empty existence of all of those kids, because their whole life was about who's going to be the number one child or who's going to take over this business, and then. It ended how it ended.
Just now spoilered.
I haven't kind of, sort of. I'm awful with that, by the way. For me, you know what it was? It was the Grey's Anatomy bomb episode. Do you remember the one with Christina Ricci where she guest starred? Where
I remember when the plane went down.
No. It was before the plane.
My new best friend, McDreamy.
Yeah. But it was where, so Christina Ricci plays this EMT who, this like husband and his friend are playing with like, they're like Civil War reenactors.
Oh.
And they get this like bomb off, this bomb goes off and he gets it stuck in him. And Christina Ricci panics and like holds it, but if she lets go of it, it's gonna go off. And Meredith, or Ellen Pompeo, like she panics and runs and she puts her hand in there. And it's, oh my God, it's this great 2-part episode. And I've still watched.
Does somebody die with the bomb? Did they do
well,
a
you
death
know who
thing?
dies? You know who dies is, and he was so great, was the guy from Friday Night Lights, Kyle Chandler. He's the bomb squad guy.
This is my I don't remember face.
No, it's okay. It's okay. So I remember this was like prime Grey's Anatomy. So like he comes out, and I'm trying to remember what the song is. I think is it Chasing Cars? No, it's not Chasing Cars. I can't remember. The song is like so like visceral in my brain, but I can't remember it. So maybe not that visceral. But there's this like slow walk thing where they're trying to walk the bomb because obviously it's a hospital. So there's all these like oxygen tanks and they have to get it out of like the safety zone or whatever because they're in the surgical wing because they're all surgeons. And so anyway, so he has to like, he's talking her through it and there's all these great speeches and stuff. And anyway, so they're walking through it and like Meredith like looks back at him and then they hit this like bump or something and it doesn't explode. And then all of a sudden it explodes and he dies and turns into the pink mist that he described about, I think the anesthesiologist talks about how like, you know, when these go off, you turn into pink mist where they can't even find any part of you. And so he turns into the pink mist.
You know this. You remember this really well.
I was really into Grey's Anatomy at the time.
All right. When we're done with the Wizards rewatch, we'll
Grey's Anatomy.
20 episodes of Grey's Anatomy.
I think there's more than 20. But
I did an episode.
But when I know you did. I know, and I freaked out and I texted you when I saw your episode.
Yeah.
But talking about like 2-parters and cliffhangers that really got you, that one really got me. Obviously, I remember it in such big details because it was such. There were so many character actors in it that gave beautiful performances. There were such great speeches. There were such great moments. It was a very great 2-part episode of the show. I don't know if WizTech got to that level, but but it was a fun 2-parter for sure.
I'm curious what the fans think about how the comparison or how Wizards dealt with being compared to Harry Potter. Like, what did you folks think it was it done well? You know what I mean? Was the kind of lighthearted poking at Harry Potter fun? Should we have just gone away from it? You know, I'm curious what the fans think. You let us know.
I also want to know what their favorite 2-part episode was out of the show. Like what? Because like I said, we did, especially in the later seasons, leaned into a lot of them. So I want to know what their favorite like 2-part episode was because we did a good amount of them, especially once the show gained in popularity because Disney would do that thing where they'd be like, well, we have a new show or a new decom or whatever we're going to squeeze in.
I remember
between these
down the road there was a lot of like 3 you know what I mean, like a 3-part kind of,
especially with like Justin and Juliet or Alex and Mason, like when the werewolf and vampire stuff came, oh my God, I can't wait to get to those episodes.
It's going to be fun.
Because of the WIPS or WIPs in this episode, if you could send mail anywhere using the portal key, what would you send and where would you send it?
I would send it to my in-laws in Germany because when you send stuff to Germany, you have to like, if there's something inside and it's a gift, you have to like let them know and you have to like pay and go to their. But I would send them something wonderful, and I would send it to Eva and Jochen, who are my in-laws, and I say, "Hallo, wie geht's? Sehr gut und dir." They watch the show, by the way, and they love you, and they, you know, we talk very fast in English, but they're watching it and they love it. And
they're like, who are these colorful English people?
They really enjoy the show, though.
They're like, I love all of the big gestures and the
so
colorful
I'm sending you guys love. Aww. Who would you portal key?
So I would make it a lot easier to send postcards because I did like this big European vacation or solo trip last year, and I would send some friends postcards from Europe wherever I went. And God, it's hard. It's really hard to make sure you have the right postage and the right address. And
I sent you a postcard
when
I was in Germany, and
mail.
well, it's not so much I got lost. I forgot to put your
unit number.
Your unit number.
Yeah,
but I remembered,
sad.
and I sent you a postcard, but it didn't fucking get to you.
I know, but
I wish I had a portal mail key.
But just the fact that you and Yulia even remembered that I love postcards, because I have like this little like book of all the postcards people send me. The fact that you guys even tried means so much.
Well,
to
now
me, so
I know.
thank you.
Now I know the thing.
Yeah,
So
you have to add
I'll send
that.
you another one.
No, but
next time we go to Germany.
I had that happen with a friend of mine. I put like the wrong, because in Europe, as you know, like the way that you put certain things, because a friend of mine was in Brazil at the time, so I was trying to send hers to Brazil, which I should have just not done that. It was too many countries.
Yeah.
That it just never got to her. So I had gotten this like, because in each city I was trying to send my friends postcards.
That's so
and
sweet, though.
But yeah, so that's I would make postcard sending a lot easier.
I'm doing a magic question, and then we'll get the
crystal
fan
ball question.
Did you ever accidentally predict something on the show? If yes, what was it? Like, did you see something happening coming up?
Coming up on the show, there were some things that I was like, is this where this is going? I don't know if I predicted it, but I think I kind of like caught on that they were starting to like go certain directions with things.
Wait, do you remember what? Something specifically?
I think it was stuff with, the stuff with Mason was pretty clear that was going to happen early on. The stuff with Juliet I felt like was similar. But I think some stuff with Mason were like, they were going to break up and maybe not end up together. I was like, is this where this is going to go? Are we going to have this like horrible, like really like bummer of a breakup? And some of the writers were like, yeah, that's where it's going to go.
Well, the whole big thing for me was the Wizards, the finale. Like, who was going to get the
did you guess that?
I did, and I guessed not happy about what happened because I wanted Selena to win and then give her powers to Justin.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted. Like I won and I gave my powers to Kelbo.
Well, and we talked to Peter, and that's what he ultimately wanted
would have
to
done.
happen.
Okay, so we have a fan question,
Yes.
a video. Here we go. Hey, thank you so much for watching this clip of Wizards of Waverly Pod. And for the full episode, go to the Wizards Pod YouTube channel. The link is in the description.
And for exclusive weekly bonus content, join our Patreon now. There's a link in the description for that too. Thanks for watching.
Bye now.